As we shift now over to the markets, it has been a tough stretch for live and feeder cattle. Earlier this week, we took a trip out to Briggs Feed Yard to get Mike Briggs' perspective of it all. You're a man of many words. That's why we like having you analyze the markets, but I'll challenge you here. Opening question.
Okay.
Describe the cattle market over the last month or so in as few words as possible.
Hugely disappointing. You know, every year we have a rally into the end of the year. Every year. And, you know, people really betting on it this year. Some people bought some pretty high priced cattle. People maybe weren't hedged very good. I heard about it today. There's less shorts on the producer side than there's been in years, which is never good. But everybody is expecting a rally into the end of the year, and we're having a contra-seasonal move. Now, does that mean that after the first year we get a contra-seasonal move back? I hope so. I doubt it. But this has been hugely disappointing.
Mike, you referenced some people. You might fit yourself in that camp, optimistic. When we last talked to you, we grind higher into the end of the year. What are one or two of the biggest things that have happened since then that led to this downward trend?
The first and most important thing, and the thing you never seem to realize until after the fact is, you know, everybody loves the funds when the funds are going your way. Well, they were going our way. Well, you have kind of a point where maybe it made sense fundamentally. We went way past that point. So then you've got this much blue sky that's going to come off right away. And then you add into the fact that we have horrible demand. Because we have a horrible economy, and it goes a little further than that. And so it really busted people in the chops. But I put almost all of it on the funds. But once again, we all like the funds when it's going our way, so you kind of got to put up with it. Now, some of the things that really disappoint me, I think the CME has to figure out what they want to do on that Friday after Thanksgiving, because there's nobody there. And these algo funds just ruin it. So you have these huge moves on a Friday with no one there to offset that. And you either need to be full go or just say, hey, look, we're closed on Monday. But, you know, they want to make money, so they don't do that. But they've got to figure out something different.
I want to come back to the funds in a moment, but first bring up, it was a Black Friday in the cattle markets, but Turnaround Tuesday, that term is thrown around, and that truly did happen. The cattle markets,
truly
as
did.
You and I visit here on Wednesday. Perhaps is that the low we'll see through the end of the year?
Would like to think so. Don't know why it wouldn't be. Some of that's going to depend on demand. Now, we've gotten the price down. Our exports are off tremendously. I think we were down 26% for the year last thing I read. So that needs to get back in gear. Well, our dollar's been high, our beef price has been high, the dollar's gone down, the beef price has gone down. So hopefully we see some of our exports come back, because that always helps. Hopefully you'll see a little better demand here. You've seen gasoline come down, so maybe things aren't so rough, but if you listen to some of the stuff out there in the economy, it doesn't bode real well.
Maybe beef prices coming down right in time for people to buy a big old ribeye for the Christmas meal.
We need a lot of that. We need some end cuts and all that stuff, yeah.
Okay, I want to get to a viewer question submitted this week. This guy wrote in and said, I always sell weaned calves in the middle of December. This year I was wondering if I should wait until January. Your thoughts?
That's a great question, because we didn't get our typical rally. Are we going to have a contra-seasonal rally after the first year? Because January and February are your two worst beef demand months. But we're supposed to be shorter on cattle than we've been. But that drought has pushed so many cattle into the feed yards that maybe would have been coming in throughout the year. They came in now, so we've kind of got cattle stacked up. Now, do we have fat cattle stacked up? I don't know.
So, Mike, you're kind of waving this carrot of maybe after the new year we'll start to see prices perhaps grind through. What key factors would you watch to see if that would happen?
Exports go up and just better demand, because you've beaten this thing up enough, it could rally back. What I personally believe is going to happen, we might have a small rally, but I think the seasonality of that situation is going to hurt us. I don't think it's going to go very far. So what I'd rather see anyway, kind of a little up and then maybe back down, and then a really nice rally in the spring when we really need it. And hopefully that gets going, but we've got to have better demand, and you can't run your prices too high or it's going to stop it.
So a few minutes ago you brought up the funds, and whenever any market goes down, there's a lot of blame game that goes around. People are saying, you know, perhaps the futures market is broken. Some people blaming LRP. You referenced the fund, so is there somebody that should be taking the blame for this downward trend?
The LRP thing is a great question, because that's the rumor going around. And well, why would LRP have anything to do with it? Well, when you, as a producer, go in and get an LRP, it's kind of like paying for an insurance policy. You laid out your money. And if the other person on the other end of that LRP goes, I don't think this market's going down, because they're typically using that to cover their cattle, a cheap way to hedge their cattle. So if the guy that took the premium, I don't think the market's going to go down, I'm just going to sit here and collect this premium and keep it. And then all of a sudden it goes, and it goes about so far, and he says, uncle, and then they sell it down even more.
Let's wrap up here. It's probably the last time we're going to talk to you here in 2023. How are you going to remember this year?
That's a great question. I saw my nephew over the weekend, and he's a rancher, and I said, you know, nobody's going to pull heifers out of this deal until we see rain. And he said, Mike, until we can make this market be better for just 6 months out of a 10-year cycle, nobody's going to replace cattle. And I thought that was interesting. And you're coming to that head here. People are going to lose a lot of money here if this thing doesn't come back in December and January. At some point, this thing has got to change so we have more stability for the producer. You know, it's been a great year from a weather standpoint, and it's been a profitable year. Has it been perfect? No, they never are.